Hi everyone, welcome back to Mike on Mike. Let's check out the films that come out today and guess if they'll pop or flop. We'll be checking out Faces of Death, You, Me, and Tuscany, and Hunting Michael Nichols. First film we can check out is Faces of Death. It's an hour and 38 minutes, rated R. It seems to have that magic runtime of an hour and 40 minutes. This is a remake of the 1978 Faces of Death. Here is that film here. So that's going to be interesting. This one, I mean, it has a low rating, 4.2. Apparently it made like 38 or whatever it said. This is the Google search for the Faces of Death budget. The original one was made at approximately $450,000 and it made $35 million worldwide. And the new one, it may be 7.4 million. So this might actually do well. If it's better than this other one, even though it has a low rating, it still made $35 million. That's a really good return. So yeah, this is the original 1978 one, $450,000 budget, except it has a low rating. Very weird. I don't know. Yeah, that's very weird. I guess it seems to be about snuff films or something. Okay, well, we can check out the trailer for this one. This could do well if it's done well. And again, why is it coming out now? It could have come out in Halloween in October.
Here at Kino Moderation, we protect people. The young, the innocent. When you come across content that violates policy, flag it and move on. You may be tempted to look into it outside of work, but don't even think about it if you can help it.
Now it is time to witness the many faces of death.
What's up?
I've been seeing these videos, all based off this old horror movie called Faces of Death. You think this could be real executions?
Leave it up. Support the trend. That is the first rule of content creation. Give the people what they want.
Many faces of death.
You need to listen to me about these videos. I need to do something.
It is the attention economy. And baby, business is booming.
Many faces of death.
What are you watching?
Want to see?
Wow. Okay, well, good trailer. It doesn't seem to really give anything away. Kind of a short one. Kind of a choppy montage of what's in the movie. That guy looks like the villain, possibly. You know, interesting. Wow. Well, that's a cool trailer. It doesn't give away anything, so that's cool. It is a splatter horror. A woman employed as a website content moderator comes across a series of violent videos reproducing death scenes from a film. So it seems to be one of those where like it references the movie within the movie of if it's a remake. So that's interesting. I assume it's probably going to be something along the lines of you know that this lady, that maybe the whole department is in on it and this lady is starting to unravel and ruin their big plan, you know? So in the end, she's probably going to get turned against by the company, and then they're going to like come after her, and then she's going to have to fight them off. And hopefully we have enough reason to root for her to get rid of these evil people, right? We'll see. an hour and 40 minutes, so hopefully it's good. Whatever the hide and seek movie, the second one just came out, and then They Will Kill You just came out, and then so there's going to be a lot of, and Forbidden Fruits, I guess. I don't know if that's like this, but it's a rated R horror movie, I guess. So there's going to be a lot to compare. This is directed by, it has 6.6 stars, by the way, which is interesting. Hopefully it's better than the last, but hopefully it's better than it should be. Directed by Daniel Goldhaber, who also wrote it alongside Issa Mazari, or whatever her name is. Let's see. Known for How to Blow Up a Pipeline, Cam, and Bad Kid. Let's see. Faces of Death, How to Blow Up a Pipeline, 50 States of Fright, 3 episodes of a TV series that got 6.5 stars. Cam, that he directed, that got 5.9 stars. Bad Kid was a short, got kind of a good rating, 6.2 stars. And then The Summer, which is a short. And he's written all of those as well as produced some of them. Interesting. No upcoming stuff. Let's see. Then Isa Mazay. We can check this person out. Let's see. So she has done camp. Oh, also like work with them. Oh, maybe they're married or something. Let's see. Cool. Actress. She was in Cam as Checkout Girl. Okay. Cool. Produced by John Berard. I don't know why they have that here. Usually they don't put that here. Yeah, got good stuff. 8.2 stars. Not bad. More on the high side, kind of. TV series and movies experience. Greg Gilreath is the second producer of this film. He's done Heart Eyes, The Voyeurs, and Cam. So they're all, Megan 2.0, Faces of Death, Bad Boy, Heart Eyes, House of Spoils. This guy has different experience, kind of a lot of experience. He's also played Lawrence in Newly Single, which got 6.1 stars. And the third guy, Adam Hendricks, he's done Black Christmas, The Voyeurs, and Cam. Black Christmas and Voyeurs. Wow, geez, this guy's done a lot. They've all worked together. Upcoming 5 titles. Let's see. Playhouse, Soon You Will Be Gone, and Possibly Eaten. Anything But Ghost, Amityville, 4x4 The Event. So he's, I guess, in the horror category. And then starring, I'm not familiar. Oh, this guy, he's from Stranger Things. Oh no, what is he from? Yeah, right? He, I could read his bio. Born in Australia, 1994. Let's see, at the time of birth, both of his parents were working many hours in his childhood on film sets, and he developed a love of acting. He's accepted into WAPA to undertake his 2-year Bachelor of Arts in Acting. Wow, and he looks like Zac Efron, kind of, right? There's a lot of these similar people that look like each other. They can all do a Face-Off remake of Cage and Travolta. I think like that could be a thing that all the actors do. Like a movie that they look like a twins movie, like the Olsen sisters, or Face-Off, or Long Lost Brothers, or Twins, Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger, maybe. Let's see. So this guy has done, he's in Elvis. Stranger Things was his big thing, I guess. The biggest. Besides, he's in a music video. Oh yeah, he did play Power Rangers, the main one, right? That movie's kind of strange. Upcoming, The Engagement and Moral Capacity. Okay. And the other girl, I'm not familiar with her. Barbie Ferreira. Her name is literally Barbie. Do you think that's her actual name? Barbara Lynn Harris Ferreira is an American model and actress. She has earned attention and acclaim for her career, as well as for being an outspoken supporter of the body positivity movement. She was born in New York, Queens specifically. She went to Hackensack High School, raised by a Brazilian mother and grandmother. Cool. She was born in 1996. Let's see. Face of Death, Mile and Kicks, House of Spoils. Bab Trevino likes it. Nope. Robot Chicken. Really? That's funny. Oh, Euphoria. So she's in that. I'm just going to start watching Euphoria. So now I'll get some experience with her. And that's it. And who else? These are the supporting actors. Charlie XCX is in it. That's so funny. I think she was just in A24 is the moment. Or, yeah, I'm going to watch that one soon. A lot of unknown people. That's cool. Let's see. So, 10 reviews so far. Let's see. So, 5 out of 10. Horrible, cheap franchise. Cash in on an already cheap gimmick. Man. There you go. This movie had nothing to do with the original, which is obvious. You don't need to see the original to see this. Yeah, it's referencing the original. It's one of those, like Anaconda. They want to recreate the original Anaconda. Whatever. This movie's concept was almost clever, but halfway through you realize this makes no sense and is dumb. The way he is recreating the kills from the original movie, it's so cheap and laughable. The police shootout reaction was so bad. Like, why would you choose to recreate this? Same with the monkey scene. You replace the monkey with a human, and it doesn't make it clever at all. Also, this movie is not gory. There's only 2 on-screen kills, I think. The rest is just a POV of the main character watching a few kills on her computer, and they are cutaways. If you were expecting mayhem and body count, you won't get it. Yes, there's blood, but every Saw and Halloween movie is bloodier than this. Well, okay, Saw is specifically bloodier than a lot of movies. It's not even comparable to Halloween. Halloween he doesn't set up traps to get people to kill themselves or whatever. It really comes off as laughable. The villain was decent, but yeah, every idea in this movie was laughable. Also, there was a guy in front of me acting like he has never seen fights or crazy videos online, because when the movie opened, it showed what it's like to scroll through social media. It showed a short compilation of fights, crashes, etc. And the guy in front of me was like, "Oh my God, oh," during that compilation, LOL. And I thought to myself, buddy, all these videos are on Twitter and Instagram, LOL. There's people in the world who don't know what's going on. And then they go to a movie and then they bump into the rest of society. Oh my God. This guy is one of the guys who'd go home and recreate a movie at his home based off of this movie, which is based off the 1978 movie. Very strange. So that's weird. So that's why the budget is so low. It said 7.4. Well, 7. Yeah, that's kind of low. Not Undertone, $500,000 low, but under 20 million low at least, under 10. So that's good. This movie it only has to make like 10 million opening day, which it might. It could do less. 5 out of 10, interesting slasher with drawbacks. Yeah. Let's see, 7 out of 10, fresh faces. This remake didn't fall flat on its face. I got to see sneak peek as part of the AMC Screen Unseen and was pleasantly surprised. I really like the nostalgia they brought in from the original and how it all tied in nicely to this modern day reboot. The main characters did a really good job. What? See, you gotta remember, this could be fake. Maybe there is a bunch of violence in it and all that. Blood, guts, and monkey brains for a new generation? This is literally saying this horror is done well. This is how horror is done. This was an intense, gory, well-acted, well-written throwback to old-school horror. There was a great deal of blood, guts, and brains. Yes, the infamous monkey brain scene returned. The character development and social commentary alone will make this a cult classic? What? I would expect that this would be better. And, if they... Well, it's not a specific remake, which means that whatever didn't work then, they would fix now. But since it's not, they're not going to do that. So, this has to be like, I don't know. It probably has a cheap twist in it. I don't know. That guy is obviously probably behind it, and everybody in the department is probably behind it. And they're going to find out that she's against them, I guess. So this is a horror's done. See, this will make this a cult classic, whatever. So, see, if this is a remake, well, it says it's a remake, but it's more like a reimagining, which means it's like rearranging the story around it. I get, which is weird because it's like, see, a remake is remaking it without changing stuff, but reimagining it, I don't know. I guess that could still be a remake. Like, to reimagine the story, I feel like to change it, right? But remaking it would be fixing a few issues, maybe burying the twist a little further, or maybe changing the twist, but, you know. But mostly just changing a few things, updating it, modernizing it, or whatever. Yeah, I don't get why that one says there's violence and this one says there's no violence, whatever. This movie is not gory. There's only 2 on-screen kills. I mean, it's written in a way like a person would write it. And then this one says there's a great deal of blood. I don't get that. 10 out of 10 pure evil, great horror. 4 out of 10 completely forgettable. Wow. 7 out of 10 better than expected. Okay. 1 out of 10 truly sickening. I often sign up for the unseen screen to see what is the new coming out of Hollywood. This movie was a take on Faces of Death from the 1978, but much worse. There really is no reason to make a movie like this. It's just vile and unnecessary. From the start, we kept an open mind and wanted to enjoy our outing, but soon the killings began. We saw a few couples walk out within the first 25 minutes. We decided to leave 35 minutes in. We saw the killing of the father by gunshot and knew the gruesomeness would only get worse. I'm sure that others followed, but as we were leaving, I noticed people's faces in the theater, and there was a look of shock and disgust. Why? I just don't just find out a little bit before the movie. You don't have to go in completely blind. Like, if you're going in blind, you can't get offended. You can't go, oh, what is this? You could have watched a trailer. You could have watched a trailer. You could have Googled it. There's no excuse. There's no excuse for you going in and then being surprised at something you didn't research. I don't get it. It makes zero sense. I already know violent movies probably have violence in them. I'm not going to be surprised when somebody gets killed. I chose to see it. I chose to see this film if, like, I can do some research and find out. It's insane. Like, you need to write this review in the way of like, okay, so we saw this film without knowing anything, and wow, it was very brutal. It was done very well. I think that it might not do well in the end, or whatever. People look disgusted when they watched it, so possibly it's too violent. That is a better thing to say rather than, how dare they make this? You didn't have to see it, though. You could have watched the trailer. It's not my problem that you decided to see a movie just blind. 10 out of 10, wildly unpleasant, yet kind of important. 6 out of 10. Okay, so those are all of the IMDb reviews. And here are the Rotten Tomatoes. 68% from the critics. Sandy Myers from San Jose Mercury News gave it 3.5 out of 4 tomatoes, saying, director, co-screenwriter Daniel Goldhaber turns it into a cat and mouse chase that does have its fair share of effective moments. It also has 2 sliver performances from Jermaine Fowler. And then Katie Wright from Inverse gave it a tomato, saying, although it's not completely free from franchise rot, Faces of Death is still an impressively nasty piece of work. Well, At least they're consistent with the nasty, disgusting part. Jacob Oller from AV Club gave it a splat, C+, saying it's a straightforward slasher with a tech-savvy twist. See? Ironically not outlandish enough to stand out from the formerly forbidden footage filling our feeds every single day. A tech-savvy twist. But it's not ironically not outlandish enough. Then it's to get views. Then it has to be that guy and the entire department is behind it. I'm going with that. That's probably the twist. Karina Adelgard from Heaven of Horror gave it 3 out of 5 tomatoes, saying, I especially enjoyed the focus on issues with fame and social media. The downside was that I got annoyed with the main protagonist. Fortunately, she's portrayed by Barbie Ferreira, who does a great job. Interesting. And then James Preston Poole from But Why Though? A Geek Community. 8.5 out of 10 tomatoes. Wow. While surprisingly light on gore? Okay, I'm so confused. Is there no gore with 2 on-screen kills, or is there plenty of violence, gore, and monkey brains? What is it? This guy is a real person who works for a real thing and actually saw the movie at a real theater. This is really confusing. So it's light on gore. 2026's Faces of Death makes up for it with brains and a visceral narrative that holds a mirror up to how desensitized society is becoming through social media. While surprisingly light on gore, this film makes up for it with brains and a visceral narrative. That's a joke to the monkey brain violence part, I'm assuming. Surprisingly light on gore. I don't know what to believe. That's weird. They should make a violence movie with no violence in it. That would be interesting. And it's like PG-13, but the violence is like rated R. If they showed it, they would be banned in some countries. That could be cool. And it would save on the budget. They don't even have to... everything's off screen. And that's the point, you know? Maggie Lovett from Collider gave it 6 out of 10 tomatoes, saying for all its visual polish and strong performances, Faces of Death remains caught between commentary and replication. It wants to critique our obsession with violence, but it can't quite do it. Something. Well, and then the audience people, Leo Garcia gave it 3 out of 5 stars, saying it was decent. I give it a 6 out of 10. Miguel A gave it 3.5 stars. A woman employed as a website content moderator comes across a series of violent death videos reproducing death scenes from the original film, I'm assuming. So those are all the reviews. Okay, let's see. Oh, these are the recent ones. They Will Kill You ended up at 6.5. Forbidden Fruits ended up at 6.1. Murder Not 2 ended up at 6.9. Faces of Death 2. Wow, they actually made a sequel to it. And it's even worse. They made a third one. And it's even worse. Jesus Christ. What did Undertone end up with? 6.2. Huh. Let's see. Death, Bound and Gagged, Reboot, Splatter, Horror. Strong, bloody violence and gore. Sexual content, nudity, language, and drug use. I am so confused. This is from the MPA. This is from these people. I am going to go with this being the truth. Are you serious? So, there's no violence in the movie, but there's violence in the movie? Explain that to me. What in the world? Here's a trivia. The original Faces of Death in 1978 had the concept of a pathologist exploring gruesome ways in which to die via footage purportedly culled from around the world. While around 60% of the film did depict real footage of accidents, animal killings, autopsies, the Holocaust, suicides, and war atrocities, the other 40% consisted of staged deaths. Holy crap. Wow. Despite the faked footage, the film still had the producer's desired effect. Outrage, revulsion, banning, although not in 52 countries as hyped by the filmmakers, and of course a money-making hit that spawned several sequels and imitators. So that's why it's disgusting is because it's like, yeah, it's a snuff or what, it has to do with snuff related topics. So the original, wow, that's crazy. So it's almost like a mockumentary, documentary type of a film rather than it being, you know, wow, that's crazy. While around 60% of the film did depict real footage of accidents, animal killings, autopsies, the Holocaust, suicides, and war atrocities. The other 40% consists of staged deaths. That's a lot. Jesus. Wow. And they wanted to create outrage, revulsion, and banning, and of course a money-making hit that spawned several sequels and imitators. Wow. That's so insane. No financial information available. I want to check out the old one and see what there is for this. So let's see. Have you become immune to the faces of death? Jesus. These are the ratings at the time, I guess. Interesting for its time. Horribly dated today. Well, I mean, that was written now. And what can it do with a film like this? I didn't like it. You know what's really funny? Are there like reviews of people who saw the movie like in 1978? Where are those reviews? I saw this opening night in 1978. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it would, you know, that is so, that would be cool to hear that, to hear the experience of that. Like the ticket was $1, right? You know, all that stuff. That's so cool. Okay, see, there you go. A mockumentary. That's, yeah. So he's trying to show you how the different faces of people while dying. There are fake scenes of people getting killed, mixed with real stuff. There are executions by decapitation in an unknown Arab country. Wow. And the electric chair. Jeez. One scene shows a group of tourists in Egypt smashing a monkey's head while still alive and eating its brains. Jeez. There was another movie like that they made. It's all real, I guess, or whatever. There are shots of animals eating people and satanic orgies using dead bodies. That's why it's banned. Okay, Jesus. There's a segment that deals with an alligator that accidentally entered residential waters. The local warden goes in his boat to get the alligator back into the sea when he accidentally falls over and becomes gator bait. The film ends with newsreel footage of people jumping off bridges in major accidents. So I see. Wow. This could be beneficial to, you know, people who, coroners, people in law enforcement, detectives, surgeons maybe. Wow. That's crazy. 1985, a school teacher forced his class to watch the film. Two of the girls, Diane Feast and Sherry Forget, were so traumatized their parents sued the school. They were awarded $100,000. John Allen Schwartz was asked for his thoughts on the situation. He was horrified that teenagers were shown the film and said the teacher should have been fired rather than suspended. Wow. That's crazy. Exiguous scenes within this motion picture have been reconstructed to document and further clarify their factual origin. Okay. The German version omits all footage about the Holocaust and the Third Reich. Oh my God. Wow. Oh my God. Let's see what the budget was. Oh yeah, it was $450. It didn't say what it made, but it made whatever, 30 million or whatever. I wanted to see the actual rating. Not rated. They didn't even, oh my God. Okay. Here we go. Wow. Well, there's one sequence where a cult opens dead body and then eats the organs, which are fake. Jesus. Some naked cadavers are seen. A man is strapped into an electric chair and zapped twice. After the first one doesn't kill him, blood oozes from his eyes and mouth. Jesus. The scene is possibly the most iconic. Oh, it's fake. The most iconic, very grotesque, but is fake. Wow. Real footage from the Holocaust is shown. It's meant to be analytical rather than exploitative, but it's disturbing nonetheless. Jesus. Not that bad by today's standards, knowing it's fake. Real footage of surgical procedures. There is a lot of real footage of animal violence. Slaughterhouse methods, which are outdated now. Okay. There's also fake animal footage. Most famous is the monkey sequence. The sequence shows diners in a strange restaurant where they put a monkey in a cage and the diners beat in its head with mallets. That's so stupid. It admits that it's fake. Are you serious? That's so funny. An animal control man is snatched from a boat by a large crocodile. Oh my god. We see mutilated remains as they are pulled from the river. Quick cuts, lens flares to cover some of the action. And it turns out it is fake. So all the obvious ones are fake. Are you joking? Even there's a bear attack, which is fake. Oh my god, I'm gonna go crazy. And is shooting a gun from his house. And his pal, oh yeah, like he's killed everybody. And then it turns out it's fake. Come on. What are the spoilers? I bet audio recordings from the PSA Flight 182 in San Diego is included. What? Wow, so this one's real. The footage of the PSA Flight 182 crash in San Diego. Wow. Look, it's all real. Holy. And that's it, though? Really? A snuff film is supposed to be real, right? I'm pretty sure. And this is a fake snuff movie. I don't even... What is... You know, that could be the thing. It's like, this is stupid. We see the graphic aftermath of a person that was run over by a semi-truck. We see their head and brain splattered on the road and wheels. Very disturbing. And edited from real medical examiner footage. Wow. Profanity. Oh, yeah. After all that, one B word and damn. Okay. A man is seen smoking before being executed. All right. And frightening and intense scenes. Wow. Here, footage of complete organ harvesting is used for the film's introduction. The scene is real footage. Wow. So there is some more real stuff in it then. Photographs and brief footage. He's already dead. Wow. A cryogenic freezing process is shown. Jeez. Real footage of a woman found dead in water is shown. A morgue is shown. Numerous dead bodies. The entire film is extremely disturbing. Real death is often displayed. Okay, so yeah, maybe I am a little bit wrong on some things. I just think that it's almost like tricking in a way of that, like some scenes that are supposed to be real turned out they're not real the whole time. Okay, so for my final prediction for this film. So I think it will pop with $10 to $15 million, and I think it can make the top 10, but come in 8th place. I feel like it's probably going to come in past that, maybe 15th place. This is definitely not for the general audience. You know what I mean? Like even horror people probably don't. Oh, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? This isn't going to be a movie that's like, that has a high chance of doing well, I think. I think because of what it is based off of, it being a remake, it being about violence, it being about snuff type of film stuff and disturbing and all that, I think that's going to ultimately affect it in a bad way. And I think it's probably, if it does well, it will fall off, if not immediately fall off. So I do say Faces of Death will, I think financially it will pop with 10 to 15 million because the budget is low, but I don't think it's going to turn out well, and it probably have bad ratings, and I think it will come in specifically, I'm going to say 8th place at the box office. Okay, the next film is You, Me, and Tuscany. Let's see. So it is an hour and 44 minutes, PG-13. Looks like probably a cute little love story, I guess. Romantic comedy, romance. Okay, let's check out this trailer.
White boy. So let me get this straight. You meet some random rich white boy.
He's Italian.
Salute.
So some random rich spicy white boy.
I'm Matteo.
And you think that that's a sign to fly to Italy tonight?
It's not about him. He doesn't even live there anymore. But he told me about his big old villa just sitting there.
Empty.
Don't come calling me from the Tuscan jail.
Ciao.
First time to Tuscany?
My first time pretty much anywhere. Hello? Who leaves an engagement ring in a junk drawer?
What are you doing here? Arresti questa donna!
This is all a really big misunderstanding.
Dio mio! She's marrying Matteo!
Yes! I'm marrying Matteo!
Congratulazioni!
What do I do?
You can pretend to be his fiancé, or you go to prison. Either way, it's very romantic.
Anna, this is Michael, my nephew.
I gotta get out of here. Oh!
Buongiorno. Gabriella wants to give you a tour of the vineyard.
Why?
Aren't you getting married there?
Oh. I dream of working in a place like this.
You're a chef. You belong here.
This was fun.
Okay, you pretended to be the white Italian man's fiance, but ended up catching feelings for the black Italian cousin brother? Oh, it's some Shonda Rhimes shit.
It's like you just suddenly turned up out of nowhere.
I gotta tell them the truth.
You got this.
Will your mama be coming?
I don't have.
Una familia?
You do now.
This is too much.
You deserve to live your life the way you want it.
Is that rain?
Oh my God. Okay.
You can eat, pray, and love me, baby.
Matteo, what are you doing here?
What am I doing here? What are you doing here?
Okay, well, that looks really funny. That looks actually kind of good. An hour and 44 minutes and PG-13. If it can keep the cuteness in it and that sweetness, wow, that's cool. I hope this one does well. Wow, I kind of like it. This guy is from, oh, I know. Isn't he from Dungeons and Dragons? Dude, that character was so funny. I'm pretty sure that's him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's him. What is it? I don't even know that character. I'm not familiar with D&D lore, so I don't know exactly what his character it was, but he was hilarious in that. He looked really good. He's pretty handsome, I guess. So I guess he was cast well. So she goes there, and why am I going to tell you? When a woman crashes at an empty Italian villa, posing as the owner's fiance, she discovers an unexpected romance that may transform her life. That is so interesting. That's kind of cool. I kind of like it. Not experimental filmmaking, not crazy camera stuff, whatever. More about the story and the performances and the visuals. I mean, the color palette, everything looks nice, you know? That's cool. There's probably going to be some humor, some funny stuff, I bet. Yeah, I mean, comedy, of course. But I don't mean like, normal funny stuff, like clever funny stuff. Like not gags and stuff, whatever, you know what I mean? Well, maybe, but clever things, basically. So no star rating yet. Probably not a good sign. Kat Coiro directed it. Not familiar with her. She's an award-winning director, producer, and executive producer. She worked on the pilot for Matlock, starring Kathy Bates. She went on to produce all the rest of the series, as well as directing 9 episodes. Wow, that's crazy. Her 2022 Universal Picture film, Marry Me, starring for Jennifer Lopez, Owen Wilson, and Maluma, is certified fresh with a 92% audience score. Wow. Marry Me was number 1 in theaters and streaming simultaneously. Wow. So she's done... Yeah, Matlock is the show. Pretty high rating. Spiderwick Chronicles? She only did 2 episodes. 5.3. Maybe they canceled it. Didn't do well. She directed She-Hulk. 6 episodes. Wow. Wow, that's a variety of work. Florida Girls, Dead to Me. A lot of TV series. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Oh, she did 4, like a guest director. Wow. So which one? So she guest directed, like almost like practice. And then she finally she was able to do, I think 6 is the whole season, if not 8. So she got it's got a comic book show to work on. And then that prepared her for Matlock. That's awesome. So she's going to get bigger and bigger things to work on. Ryan Engel wrote it. Born in 1979. He worked on Rampage, Beast? In The Commuter. Isn't Russell Crowe in Beast that's coming up? Which it's either limited right now or next week limited release. He worked on all of these. Breaking In, Rampage. 6 stars and dropped to 5 stars and then back up to 5.5. A little bit over. Man, I hope this gets 6 stars or more. This guy needs it. He has 4 upcoming films. Untitled Jean Colette Sarah Ibiza Project. 8 episodes of a TV series. Jeez. This guy's going to be busy. On a Clear Day, writer. Cowboy Ninja Viking. Wrote the screenplay in Ben 10, The Whole New World. Oh, also written by Kristen Engel. Oh, I didn't even notice a name. Yeah, I guess it must be Mary then. Wow, okay, so she's getting into it. Cool. She's like Deborah Snyder. I don't know how much Deborah Snyder has, to do with being in everything, but she definitely supports Zach a lot. Probably probably the same situation here. And then, so the actors are Regé Jean Page, we'll go with that. Haley Bailey, or Halle Bailey. It's very similar to, I can't even say it, Halle Berry. I'm not familiar with her. She's very beautiful looking, huh? They both look really good. They're going to be good on camera, I think, on screen. Other people, Lorenzo De Moore, Isabella Ferrari, Desiree Popper, Popper, I guess, something like that. A lot of unknowns. Cool. 1 review, okay, from IMDb. 6 out of 10, passable but derivative. Okay, that's a lot to read. They say that the imitation is the highest form of flattery, but when that sincere admiration begins teetering on the brink of becoming derivative, much of the magic and charm is lost, and that, for what it's worth, is the downfall of this much-anticipated romantic comedy from director Kat Coiro, a filmmaker best known for her short subjects, music videos, and TV work. Interesting. Anna is a 20-something wannabe chef who's been treading water as a New York City house sitter ever since the untimely death of her culinary inspiration, her mother. Oh my God. Okay, so it is going to be written like that. You're going to care for the character, and that's important. And you're going to want her, you're going to root for her. Grief aside, she nevertheless seriously needs to get her life back on track, specifically by living the life that she truly wants for herself. However, as someone who's loath to take responsibility for herself, she wallows in an ever-deepening pool of financial troubles, bad decisions, and lack of direction. But a chance meeting in a hotel bar with a handsome, wealthy, globe-trotting Italian real estate mogul, Matteo, launches her into an impromptu adventure with romantic potential, prompting her to spontaneously visit his elegant, though unoccupied, Tuscan villa, albeit an uninvited too, another of those potential bad decisions. Yeah, okay. Anna sees the trip as a catalyst for changing her life, but she soon gets more than what she's bargained for when she's forced to come up with a cover story for why she's suddenly taken over Matteo's home. A question for his skeptical family members who care for the villa in his absence. Her explanation, she's Matteo's fiancé, an announcement that gets her welcomed with open arms. In the meantime, however, Anna meets and begins falling for Matteo's adopted brother, Michael, played by Roger Jean Page, a hunky, well-to-do Tuscan vineyard owner, an attraction that proves mutual. But how does she explain herself now as the sparks begin to fly between her and her fiancé's sibling? Such is the premise for what follows, all set against the lush Tuscan landscape, a lively small-town summer festival and life without the brothers' comically colorful relatives, arguably the film's strongest attribute. Yeah, I bet you that's going to be so funny. The fundamental problem here, though, is that the narrative isn't especially original, drawing from storylines previously explored in other Italian rom-coms like Moonstruck in '87 and Under the Tuscan Sun in '03, both of which told their tales much more effectively, making this offering appear pale by comparison. What's more, You, Me, and Tuscany isn't terribly funny, either a key component that shouldn't be lacking in a romantic comedy. In fact, rarely does hilarity ensue. Ultimately, this release comes across more like something you would find on Lifetime, WeTV, or the Hallmark Channel. Passable but essentially lightweight fare that's not particularly fresh, innovative, or overly engaging. In some ways, I suppose I shouldn't have expected more than this, but it also seems like the creators of this project could have made more of an effort to come up with something a little less predictable, formulaic, sappy, and at times fundamentally implausible. Some have called this an ideal date night movie, but to me, its inability to draw viewers into the story more successfully strikes me as being more like something to watch when no one is home on a Friday night, stretched out on the couch in a pair of sweats with a box of bonbons with nothing better to do. The perfect background noise movie, a rom-com about which there's not a whole lot to love. What a review. That is the only one. So that could be true. So maybe it's just weak. It's probably good. It's just weak and could have been fixed in a few areas. Here are the Rotten Tomatoes for this film. It has 78% from the critics, which is interesting. Christy Puchko from Mashable gave it a tomato, saying You, Me, and Tuscany will be loved by rom-com fans for its sincere appreciation of the subgenre. Alonso Duralde from the film Verdict gave it a tomato, saying has all the heft of a squash blossom, and it's similarly tasty without being filling, but sometimes you just want one anyways. Okay. And Brian Truitt from USA Today gave it 2.5 out of 4 stars, saying, while You, Me, and Tuscany doesn't add anything significantly new or innovative to the rom-com recipe, it's a breezy respite for those who dig the familiar in their escapist pleasures. All right. Brian Orndorff from Blu-ray.com gave it a splat D+, saying, as routine a movie can be made, offering viewers little enchantment. As routine a movie can be made, offering viewers little enchantment, while Bailey and Page attempt to survive a picture that doesn't ask much of their talents. I mean, they look like they can act, and they both look good. I mean, that's like kind of important. They obviously remember the script lines and repeat them on set. So obviously, like, that is a thing, a requirement. Well, this guy gave it a splat, and this guy gave it a tomato. This lady gave it a tomato. Audience reviews, only one. Alyssa B gave it 5 stars, saying this rom-com was so fun and joyful to see. It gave every element of what a rom-com includes. Halle Bailey acting was really good. Okay. All right, so this is all the reviews for You, Me, and Tuscany, and no financial information is available. Let's read a trivia if there was one. They were filming in Pienzo, Tuscany, Italy on July 30th, 2025. Oh, wow. Cool. Let's see. So my final prediction for this film will be, I think that this can make $10 to $15 million. The budget is supposedly $18 million. So if it's $18 million, it's got to make $25 or $30 million. That's possible. I feel like there's the early reviews are basically kind of defining the success. I feel like this movie will make $10 to $15 million opening day. Maybe end up with 18, maybe end up with 20 to 25. I think that it's just this whole week, the reviews are going to go out and say, hey, this isn't really that good, but it's acceptable, right? And then people are going to be like, well, I want to see something at the theater, and we can see this on streaming, so we'll see it on streaming. Most likely. So I think it will gross 10 to 15 opening day. Hopefully more. Probably less. And I think that it has a good chance to come in the top 10. If, I don't know about top 5. There's some big movies there right now. This could come in top 10. So this film will flop with $10 to $15 million opening day and come in 10th place. Okay, and the last film is Hunting Matthew Nichols. The date is 2024. I mean, that's over a year. I don't know. That's really weird. So yeah. Anyway, it's rated R, an hour and a half. Wow, like not an hour and 30 minutes, an hour and 29 minutes. That's hilarious. Okay, let's check out this trailer, which is 2 minutes long. Hopefully, it's not too long.
Sure you want to do this?
I have to.
You can wait.
I've waited 20 years.
Two families are desperate for answers after their teenage sons disappeared without a trace. The 17-year-old boys, Matthew Nichols and Jordan Reimer, were last seen on the evening of October 31st in Port Rupert on the northern edge of the island. Their families are holding out hope. They'll be found safe. They'll be found safe. They'll be found safe.
That's why I'm making this documentary, because I want a better answer to the question of what happened to them than the one I have right now.
My son didn't come home last night and he's not at school today, so I wanted to report that to police.
Was it this? Was it that? Was there a cult?
Listen to me. I'm telling you, Pam or somebody withheld something. So why isn't there another tape?
Clerical error? Okay.
What is she doing? Hey, Tara?
No, stop recording.
Don't talk to me about bees. You have no idea.
At that point, the case went cold.
Maddie!
This is the one thing that gets missed.
They see anything?
They're not doing
Stop that! Stop speaking to me like that. You're in my home.
There's things that we shouldn't speak about. When we do, it gives them power. Makes them real.
I'm sorry if I frightened you.
Showtime.
You have no idea. I know less about my brother now than when we even started this whole thing.
And so whatever I find, I'm okay with, because I'll have gotten to know my brother better.
Wow. So it's a mockumentary? Holy crap, dude. That's cool. An hour and a half. I bet you it's going to need more time. The people are going to be like, it was so rushed. Wow. That looks cool. It looks very well made. It doesn't really like give away the spoiler. I'm assuming it looks like there's some type of maybe like, you know, cursing or magic or whatever. Maybe, possibly. docudrama, found footage, horror, psychological drama, psychological thriller, whodunit, horror, mystery thriller. The plot is 2 decades after her brother mysteriously disappeared on Vancouver Island, a documentary filmmaker sets out to solve his missing persons case. When a disturbing piece of evidence is revealed, she comes to believe she might still be alive. He might still be alive. Huh. And it's said that some people don't want to be found, right? Some people don't want to be found. That means that this guy, the twist will be probably he isolated himself after being cursed or something like that. And it turns out he didn't get kidnapped or whatever. He chose to go missing. He went to get lost and for his own good, to save his family or something like that. So it has 5.4 out of 10 stars, which is not a good sign. The director is Markian Tarasiuk. Okay, has potential because of the name. Born in 93, Ukrainian Canadian actor, grew up in Manitoba. He's a graduate of the Studio 58 theater program. He made his film debut in Disney's Bunks. Wow, playing the hot-headed camp counselor. Cool. Let's see. He worked on Blue Skies TV series, 8 episodes. I got 6.2 stars. Nellie Knows Mysteries, All Manners of Murder TV movie, got 6.7 stars. Polar Opposites TV movie. TV stuff, a lot of TV stuff with let's go with 7-star average rating. 6.5 maybe. And his upcoming is True Justice 2, An Eye for an Eye, True Justice 3. Where was that one? True Justice, Family Ties. 2024, 6.4 stars, TV movie. Then he's doing True Justice 2, Eye for an Eye. Eli Flint, again, and True Justice 3, a TV movie trilogy. Wow. That's funny. Pretty cool. Written by Sean Harris Oliver. Letters from Someone Called Killer and Hunting Matthew Nichols Part 2. Wait, what? Is this Part 1 or something? Where's Part 2? This is written a year ago. What is Hunting Matthew Nichols Part 2? Oh, this is... What? How do you make a sequel mockumentary? Okay, and then Markian. Oh, and then this guy Markian also wrote it too. Yeah, we don't have to check him again. Pretty awesome. And then here are the actors for the movie. Miranda McDougall. I feel like the acting is like that overly fake, like, oh, we got to pretend it's real. So they do this over-exaggerated, overacting kind of real. Like, oh, the camera's on me. I got to act extra sad or extra whatever. Even though it's like normal people don't act like that. That could be a downfall where it comes off as like corny, like overacting, bad acting, you know. So let's see. All unknown people, pretty cool. 30 reviews so far. Okay. First one, 3 out of 10. Victim of its own creativity, 3.5 out of 10 stars. Hunting Matthew Nichols was a mystery movie on March 30th. Almost 2 years after the movie was made. Crazy it took that long to get a release. It's a documentary style film that follows a sister looking for her missing brother. The documentary style is great, but not much else. Huh. Positives. Documentary style is well made and actors sound genuine. Oh! Okay, that's something I'm thinking could be an issue. Horror aspects were scary, though short. Score was nice, though overpowering often. Wow. Negatives. Nothing spooky or horror related until last 10 minutes. Let's see, they're going to find out he's possessed or something like that. Lack of tension building or scary moments throughout the film. It's a literal documentary. See, now I don't know if that's a negative because that would be realistic. if, not everything's scary. You open a door, nothing's there. You open a door, someone's there. It's not every time, sometimes you open a door, maybe it's locked. Maybe you hit yourself in the head when you open it, It doesn't have to be like fake or whatever for the sake of it being a movie. Oh, if it's a movie, then yes. But this is a fake documentary, then it needs to be like realistic, Not everything would happen in a documentary unless it's fake, like a too convenient one, I guess. Acting was uneven from believable to super awful. That kind of contradicts your actors sound genuine. The acting was uneven from believable to super awful. See, so they don't sound genuine. They sometimes sound genuine. The acting was uneven. Sometimes they're super awful. That should have been the wording. The truth is, Hunting Matthew Nichols is missing the sense of dread that a documentary about a missing boy should have. There's nothing building the tension until the end. No spooky shadows, jump scare fake outs, just nothing. The film had no growth or flow. They've done this to us in every movie we've ever seen so much that we're used to this, to where they don't do it. We get mad that there's no cheap jump scares. I hate jump scares. I am sick of them. Every single thing is a jump scare. The camera goes and then the guy's behind the person. They open the door. The person's there. It's just too much. Figure out some new way. This guy says Gremlin Lord 615 full review on YouTube. I think I've seen this guy before. He seems very believable, I think. A 3 out of 10 cheaper budget of the Blair Witch Project. Oh no. You can sleep through the whole beginning of the film and wake up in the final 30 minutes and you will still be able to be able to understand the plot and the low budget style of filmmaking. The story progress is super slow and very easy to guess. Boring filmmaking style of mockumentary. Both sides of my neighbor who were watching with me in the theater fell asleep and I almost did as well. Overall, it's just another cheap budget Blair Witch Project with less memorable scenes except in the end, which is a disappointment. Darn. Yeah, so these are going to drop off in a week, I think. Pretty boring until the end. A slow burn. Holy. 1 out of 10, good bones, horrible acting. 4 out of 10, meh. 3 out of 10, was it necessary? 1 out of 10, dull, slow burn that does what others have done before, but worse. These are all bad ratings. Oh my God. 8 out of 10, mystery movie. It kept him interested. Unbelievable. There wasn't a whole lot of blood and guts just to have blood and guts, and they did not overuse jump scares. Wow. This was terrible. 6 out of 10. These are really bad. We can check out the Rotten Tomatoes ones now. Okay, here are the Rotten Tomatoes. It has 0 ratings from either side. 5 on the critics, but not enough to warrant a percentage. Holy crap. Critics reviews. AV Offer from NYC Movie Guru gave it a tomato, saying a horror documentary that doesn't get points for originality, but it's effectively gripping and creepy. Okay, that's interesting. Paul Lay from Tales from the Paul side gave it a tomato, saying it's very obvious that the filmmaker did his homework, but if you ask me, he may have overstudied. Okay. What about the story part? He didn't study that. Matthew Monagle from Certified Forgotten gave it 3 out of 5 tomatoes, saying there are worse things to be than a film that wears its admiration for the Blair Witch Project on its sleeve. So the character must say, the lead character must say, God, I love the Blair Witch Project. Why are you filming that? Well, I love the Blair Witch Project. I bet you that's a line of dialogue in the film. Norman Gidney from Horror Buzz gave it 6 out of 10, 1 tomato. And this review was over a year. Wow, that's the oldest review ever. worth the watch for its inventive narrative and layered mystery. Oliver and Teresiuk craft a believable real-world story that frames well in the quasi-doc found footage wheelhouse, even if it never fully becomes what it could be, can be, or should be. And that's it. So let's see if there's any financial info down here. Radar for language, violent content, bloody images. See, this is the tagline. Not all answers want to be found. I'm pretty sure in the end, if it said the last 10 minutes is the big thing, whatever, he's probably gonna be like possessed by something, and it's revealed that he isolated himself on purpose, and then it's probably gonna end with him killing himself. I guess that's probably the bloody image at the end. Wow, this is the Markian Teresiuk's directorial debut. Wow, that's really cool. Good for this guy. That's awesome. Just like the guy who did Undertone, his first. Just like the guy from Undertone. That's his first directorial debut. And no financial info is available. I think it said... No, it is unknown. It is rumored to be low because it's a documentary or mockumentary specifically. So my final prediction for this film, I think that, I mean, it looks pretty bad, I guess. It looks cool, whatever. I think my first thought was that it's going to have some bad acting. It looked like it's going to be like overacted and just cheesy and corny. Like that one lady being interviewed, "This is my house." Like no one would do it like that. You know, it's because he's an actor in a movie. That's why she acts that way. Pretty dumb. I think hunting Matthew Nichols is not going to do well. I think it will make $1 to $5 million, and it'll flop. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, $1 to $5 million, I think. And then I think the name alone makes it look like a documentary. You know what I'm saying? Like not a movie to watch, and that's going to affect it. Even though it's not a documentary, the poster comes off like that, and it's not. It's an actual movie. It's an actual movie, and I think hunting Michael Nichols, it just looks like a documentary. I think that's going to turn people off. So I think that it will flop with $1 to $5 million, and I actually think it will be in the top 20 all the way down, if not completely out of the theater. So my predictions for these films are, I think Faces of Death is going to pop with $10 to $15 million. The budget is 7.4, so I think financially it will pop, even if it's not really amazing, I guess. I think the content and the type of film will turn people off because of the violence, and I think it will be in the top 10, but it could be in the top 15. And You and Me in Tuscany, I think that it will flop with $10 to $15 million, even though the budget is low at $18 million. I think that people are going to find it isn't really amazing, but just kind of decent, and they could watch this at home. And I do believe it has a chance to be in the top 10. And lastly is Hunting Michael Nichols. The budget is unknown. It is rumored to be low since it's a mockumentary. I believe it will flop with $1 to $5 million based off of all the negative reviews. And I think that it's just ultimately not going to go anywhere. It's going to have like a pointless feeling to it. And I feel like this could be in the top 20, if not like just completely out of the theater. And here are the current box office results. The Super Mario Galaxy is in first place, making $190. It's probably doing very well. Project Hail Mary, the drama, still holding third place. Hoppers, Reminders of Him, A Great Awakening. They Will Kill You, Ready or Not 2, Scream. Let's see, the AI duck, that one didn't work out well. The pout fish, I'm so surprised it's still there. They Will Kill You, it's in the top 10. Pretty funny, even though it's kind of mixed. Very well produced though. The stunts are crazy. That Undertone is holding on. Wow, it is financially successful. That is so cool. $500,000 budget. What else? Forbidden Fruit, $2 million. It's kind of holding on. It's under the 15. Cool. Well, yeah, so I'm not sure. I think Faces of Death can come in top 10, but I mean, those movies are holding all of them. If Faces of Death can make 10 to 15 opening day, it will do better than the drama. It could definitely come in. It could come in top 10, top 5 even, I think. You, Me, and Tuscany, $18 million budget, and 10 to 15. I mean, that could be in the top 10 also. I think You, Me, and Tuscany will do the best out of all of them. Even though I think it'll flop, I feel like it could be a surprise and actually, out of all of these, do well. Hunting Michael Nichols, though, I think all of those are really bad reviews. If the theaters see that, they're going to get rid of them. They're going to be, hey, get that out of here. We're going to put in the pout fish is probably more entertaining. We're going to put, H is for Hawk. Get that movie back. Whatever. And that wraps up this episode. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Leave a comment and I will see you in the next episode. Peace.